A quick look at the latest slick offering from the Kubuntu community, Kubuntu 18.10 Cosmic Cuttlefish. Alright, let's take a look at the Kubuntu 18.10. Running inside a virtual box, I have Ubuntu Mate 18.10 as my host machine. Well, it goes without question or controversy that Kubuntu continues to be one of the slickest, sharpest looking desktops anywhere on the planet. This is a full-featured desktop. Highly customizable. Of course, Kubuntu and the Plasma desktop is famous for their widgets, the ability to add shortcuts, little shortcuts on the desktop if you so choose to. For example, you can grab the clock here and drag it onto the desktop. An example of one widget, of course, you have many more here. I won't go into all of these, but this is pretty much self-explanatory. If we take a look at the file manager, this has a Dolphin file manager. One of the best, in my opinion. This does a lot, maybe a little bit too much for beginners. But once again, I would have to agree that the Dolphin file manager is one of the best offerings of any file manager anywhere. Let's take a look at a quick list of software that is installed. And I won't go into all of this, but this should have everything you need to get started once you have this fully installed and updated. Alright, education, mathematics, LibreOffice, science, LibreOffice, again the full LibreOffice suite, very good. You can get that for both Linux and Windows. A few games here, K-Mines, graphics. Nothing here really stands out for me. I would install GIMP. Internet, let's see, aggregator, contact print, contact theme, Firefox web browser, that's fine. I would also install Chrome if I was going to keep this, and some other pieces of software here. Multimedia, Cantata, K3B, a great disk burning software, very good. Pulse audio volume control, excellent. And VLC, one of the best media players for both Linux and Windows. We've talked about Office and the LibreOffice suite. Some settings here. This is where you would really have to read the documentation. I've been told in the past that the documentation for Kubuntu leaves a lot to be desired. But if you have patience, you definitely want to take a look at the system settings and learn everything that you can do with the Kubuntu desktop, because in the end, you're going to need that knowledge to get comfortable with this. Alright, moving along. Utilities, Arcade, again, being Kubuntu, a lot of K-themed software, K-calculator, and so on. Help, Power Session. Some favorites here to the left. Again, this is all pretty much self-explanatory. Let's take a look at the system monitor called K-SysGuard. Yeah, and see how much RAM this is using. Probably not a lot, and it's not. About 467 megabytes of RAM. That's actually pretty good for a full-featured desktop. Excellent, in my opinion. Alright, so this definitely looks slick. It pretty much has. It's gotten a little bit faster, more lightweight over the last couple of years. Well done, but as pretty as this is, it's still somewhat confusing. And I'll give you a couple examples. We still don't have a volume input monitor here. When you click on the tab here, the icon for the volume, this would come in very handy to putting in a microphone meter for us content creators. It's not there, and I don't know why. Another confusing thing is I added a second panel. You can see right here to the top. Normally you have a bottom panel. Of course, you can move this if you so choose to. But I wanted to add a second one. Now this is customizable in terms of the start menu. For example, here at the bottom, if you left click, you can right click on this here and change it. If you go to alternatives, and it'll give you some options. Application dashboard. Sorry about that. Let's go back again. Application dashboard, launcher, and application menu. So here at the bottom, that's the application menu there, and at the top there's another example of a K launcher. So what I did with this briefly, I wanted to add the second panel. Let's go cancel there. So at this here, and by the way, ignore the very top and the very bottom panels. That's part of the VirtualBox. So what I did here, right here where it's dark, I right-clicked, panel options, and I add panel. It was that simple. It added the panel here at the top. Now you would think by the same set of functions, you could right-click on the panel, go to panel options, and then there will be an option to delete the panel. And you can't. You have to go figure this out, and there's really more steps than is necessary. If I go way at the top here to the Mate desktop, if I right-click, I can click New Panel. And it's way down here at the bottom. And if I right-click, I can delete the panel. And that's just an example of a desktop that is more intuitive, more easy-flowing, more easier for beginners. Really not just for beginners, even for advanced users. So Kubuntu 18.10 is still very pretty and still somewhat confusing. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to show you both the Mate desktop and the Kubuntu desktop inside a virtual box. But those are just the two examples of where I think you would think in 2018 this would be a little bit more user-friendly based on what I've seen and tested over the years. But that being said, if you're into slick-looking desktops and you have the time to learn how this works, absolutely check out Kubuntu 18.10 Cosmic Cuttlefish. Alright, that's all I have for this one. If you want to support the channel, you can check out the links below in the show notes. You can support the channel through PayPal, Patreon, there's some other links below. Join us and you might be invited for the next private chat. Take care. I'll catch you on the next one.